Welcome to PPR podcast number 86. My name is Paul. It is my great honor to ride shotgun for the star of the show. His name is Grossman, Bert Grossman. Bert, we have a very special guest. Would you like to make introductions?
Fale Poumele, the new head coach of Oceanside High School.
Yes, part of the legendary family tree. I don't know how many Poumeles have come down the line, but I've seen a lot of them play. You all can play football, man.
Most definitely.
There's like it's like the five families, like five mafia families, the five families of Oceanside. Boy, you guys have created quite the foundation of excellence in that part of the county. So congratulations on that. Taking the Oceanside job, it looked like, man, it was one of the longest job deals in a long time. Walk us through it. When did you get involved, and why did it take so long?
You know, I can't really answer for the reasons why it took so long, but I know for sure I truly believe in timing, and I think God's timing kind of worked out in his favor for me and where I'm at in my life. And, you know, for that specific reason, like, they gave me a call, I applied, and, you know, after I got that call, they asked for an interview. I went in, talked to them, and everything just kind of worked itself out.
Coach.
And now we're in the now. I know they had some other candidates, but, you know, for now, it's like I said, I believe in timing, and it was God's timing. It was pretty much an opportunity that I couldn't resist.
Coach, a lot of people talk about the 0-10 and how crazy that was for Oceanside, but 2015 championship, 2019 championship, probably would have won it in 2020 with COVID with the roster. What was it with COVID that devastated that program so much as opposed to the other ones, do you think?
You know what? Honestly, I think just everybody had their own idea of how the city should run. And, you know, in that time, I think they could have won. See, I have to have a contending team that I think they could have took it, especially with the running back Kavika Tua and a lot of there that they had. They had good coaching staff and everything, but I just don't know what happened and where the ball dropped on that end in the community. But it definitely didn't help us as far as a community with Oceanside High School going 0-10 last year from that point. So I don't know where that drop-off was, but, you know, I'm here to pick up the pieces and where we're at right now.
And we're going to talk about that. But we should mention this podcast 86 brought to you by the San Diego Strike Force. Logo now up on the screen.
Fancy.
We are talking to the newly appointed head football coach at Oceanside, Fale Poumele. Coach, part of the attraction to your hire, if I'm sitting in the Oceanside community, is your connection to the championship pass. Could you talk a little bit about that? And are those expectations reasonable in 2023?
Absolutely. I think if you just create the structure that you want and go through your processes and do what you think is right, and, you know, we'll go through our trial and error and we'll figure out what we want to keep and what we don't think is going to work. But for now, I think those things that we're trying to instill in our kids now, you know, the very first thing we did was start a breakfast club, and that starts at 6:30. That's 2 hours before school starts. And really it was to see if these kids know how to communicate with their parents and tell them, like, hey, we're a part of this program. I want to go to this I want to go to these workouts. And, you know, we had over 70 kids the first day, and then it's just grown ever since.
Wow.
So the numbers are growing every day. We have our kids bought in. Obviously, we got 70 households changing their lifestyle for us. And, you know, with that, a lot of it is just those guys are alumni too. Their parents are alumni. So they kind of know and understand where I'm coming from when it comes to trying to create that championship mentality. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. So we're moving in a good direction. Now we're just installing some of our offensive defense when we do meet up with our kids in the morning. Now we're just getting the breakfast club going. Now we're going to feed the kids after workouts, and, you know, it's going in the right direction. Admin's been great so far.
You can't overstate the legacy there, but, you know, I used to hang out there in the 90s with Junior, and I hadn't been back, and then I went probably last month, and I thought I was in La Jolla. I mean, it's really changed there. I mean, does that demographic hurt the football or help the football?
You know, I think with just the original families that have been here since the beginning, and they're still here, and they're not going anywhere. And the generations after them knowing that, hey, we're not going anywhere, we're going to stay. Regardless of what it looks like, you still got the same people in it. So one thing that I do like is that our community is still intact with each other. The families know each other, and it's just growing. Like the population here has grown so much, and really it's a vibe. Like they come into this city, it's like, man, this is like a family atmosphere, and that's what we try to give off everywhere we go. So it's hard to leave. Once you come to Oceanside, you kind of want to just live there and stay within the community.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Coach Carroll, we had lunch downtown in that area, and I was shocked. I thought, wow. Like you mentioned, I thought it was, the nice side of Carlsbad or something. You bring up community, and I think I was at the Pirate for Life deal. Coach Carroll allowed a non-pirate inside the Elks Lodge there, which I was greatly honored because I knew a lot of those guys. The last 24 years, Oceanside's been a big part of the PPR. But watching it, and I was watching people interact, Coach, and the thing struck me. I thought, will we ever see this again? Not only the football excellence, but the sense of community, because all these guys were neighbors and they're still buddies 20, 30 years after high school. They're still friends. Now in this era of free agency in high school football, are we ever going to see what we witnessed in that run of 14 plus year, however many long years, are we ever going to see that again anywhere, much less Oceanside?
Honestly.
Oh, Coach, you lost your mic, or did I lose? Hang on.
Lost yours.
Hang on a second, Coach. I'm losing you. I want to hear you. All right, go ahead, Coach.
To be honest with you, the main, like I said, the main families that have been here in this community are still here. And if anybody can do it and bring it back to what it is, it's Oceanside. So do I think it can happen? Absolutely. I think we just got to get back to what we have and what we know how to, and what works, and stick with that plan and figure out those processes as we go through it.
Because back in the day, Coach, you would have those 26 to 34 players, the core guys that, you could strike a match in their hand. They were just tough as nails. And then kids from the outside would find their way to Oceanside. And then you had this unbeatable football team. Is that formula still possible?
Yes. We have a really good relationship with the Pop Warners in this area, especially OPW. And, they've done a good job of just trying to keep kids in our city. If you're not going to Oceanside, you're going to El Camino. It's always been a big rivalry. I have cousins that went to El Camino, and we played against them. But at the same token, it's just keeping our kids in Oceanside. That's the main focus right now. And then we know we have some kids that are outside of going to the private schools, and we know it sounds good, but at the same time, it's one of those things that, hey, we got to get back to our roots and what we're used to, and knowing that, hey, you're going to be in good hands if you come here in Oceanside.
And that was the thing that struck me, and this, not an answer, but a statement. When they go and you see there's 100 people applying, if you're from here, you have to be from Oceanside to coach Oceanside. It's almost, right. They have such a history. It's almost like Lincoln. You have to be from Lincoln to coach Lincoln. You can't bring somebody from out of state. You can't bring somebody. You have such, the legacy's there. So it was weird to me when it's like, oh, this guy from out of town was applying. This guy was, you can't make it in certain communities that way because the community's so tight knit and has such a history. Yeah.
Or it would be such an uphill battle. It's gonna be easier for you than just about any other buddy. It'll be easier for you than anybody from the outside, right, Coach?
Yeah, I agree. Only because I already have my community ties, and a lot of my nephews and nieces are at that age where they're going to high school. They're in 8th grade, 7th grade, and they already know they want to be Pirates. Our family bleeds green, So when my uncle Pulu went over there and took a El Camino job, that was a
betrayal.
That was a tough, but I also went with him to coach over there, and then I got to see how they run their stuff, and it's like, all right, now we just need to keep our kids in house, in Oceanside, really. But yeah, we're gonna get our kids. A lot of our kids are getting recruited, and it doesn't help that they're getting recruited from guys outside of our area, and parents are making choices for their kids where they think is going to be beneficial for them, but now they have an answer for them why they should stay home, and I should be that. And I take that with a great pride because my Uncle Pulu literally was my mentor growing up, and he was Oceanside everything. So even though we coached at San Marcos and El Camino and other places, we always bled green. So it's always been our home. We don't see ourselves going anywhere else. So that's why I'm like, all right, we just got to fix some things up and then we'll be all right. But the main thing is getting these kids and parents bought into what we're doing now. So
You bring up Pulu a lot. Can I assume he's going to be on your staff?
well, my Uncle Pulu passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He passed away. He had the heart attack.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
In the basketball game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tragedy. I remember that day like it was yesterday, which just it gutted me. I mean, I've never seen a community so gutted by a piece of news, Coach.
Yeah.
I remember that the service and everything. Oh wow. Coach, you kept saying we're putting in our stuff. Is it a new offense? Is it a new defense?
You know, that's to remain seen.
Come on. Are you going to throw the ball? Are you going to run the ball? Is it going to be the 3-3-5 or whatever that they all play now? Or what is it? What are you going to run defensively?
Well, defensively, we're going to run a couple of things. It really depends on our talent. So right now, our base will be 4-3. And then we'll go from there and then figure out where we want to put our kids. And if we have the talent that we know we have, then we'll stick with it. But for the most part, yeah, you got to stick around for the show, Paul. You got to wait till the fall season.
Well, yeah, you know, you guys are always going to get a lot of love simply because Coach Carroll now works on the PPR. He would pull the plug on us if we didn't give Oceanside props. As Coach Carroll, is he a welcome part of any advisory board, or is he now that he's media, he can't get on the inside anymore?
You know what? He's my mentor for this position for the long haul. I don't see myself going anywhere anytime soon. I'm here for the long haul, and I want to make sure that I'm getting led by some of the right people in the community, and he's definitely one of those mentors for me that I'll be reaching out to very soon. I haven't reached out to him yet because he had the reunion stuff to get ready for. Mm-hmm. And I'm surprised he let you in the door.
I know.
He's a prideful thief right there, but you know, you've been covering us since
you.
High.
Since you. Hey,
yeah.
I asked this question about 1,000 times at the luncheon. What was the best team to come out of Oceanside? Was it that '96 team, or was it?
I know the very first team, '95 year, they had some guys now. Like that team could really go, and then even 2014, that team was really good. And then Tofi Pau senior year, that was really good. But also, I mean, it's competitive right now when it comes to that. But
so pick one. Which one do you? I know you're biased, but which one was the best one and why?
The one I won, '99. '99 because it was the only one that we had a shutout against Monte Vista.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
What about that? There's some earlier ones than that.
Well, but I wasn't here. I only saw. I saw. You know, I always tell this story, Coach. The first time I ever went to Oceanside, I thought I was from LA. I thought I was something, you know. I strutted on, and I was at the end of practice, and I think I jumped the end of practice by 2.5 minutes, and Coach Carroll lit me up for. I thought, whoa.
That's all right.
Wait till practice is over. And afterwards, he was gracious, and now I think we're best of friends. But I got indoctrinated in Oceanside football really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it humbled me. And then when I saw you guys play, and I understood what the big deal was about, because back then you guys were light years ahead of everybody when it came to discipline. And I mean, Coach Carroll is just he's a detail freak.
Absolutely.
And and you know, it's one of those deals where if you take care of the little things, suddenly the big things aren't as big. I think that was his motto. Yeah.
Well, to be a great head coach, you got to have a really good staff, and he's had great support staff on his group, and he had his core coaches that really dug into us when we were like kids and mentoring us and doing stuff off the field. So that was a big, huge thing too. So that's one thing I'm trying to get back to and having more team camaraderie events and fundraising stuff. So it's just keeps our whole community together.
So what do you look most at? Because you've had the mix. John Carroll's great coach at one thing. You had Tom Kraft. You had Ted Tollner. They all have their own thing. Which one do you take the most of, or a piece of all of them?
Piece of all of them. With football, it's evolved. So if you're not evolving with the times, it's one of those you get left behind. You see a lot of RPOs now.
Yeah.
So now the quarterback has 1 to 2 reads in one play, and it can be different concepts. And it's really one of those things that's what Coach Carroll did really well, is he grew with the offense, and now they got option routes and stuff like that. So, for us, we're going to keep it basic, but we're going to continue to put some pressure on our kids and let them know that, hey, we got to grow this pretty fast. So it's moving. We're moving in a good direction. So
you brought up your staff. How many are holdovers? How many are coming back? Is your staff complete right now, or are you still looking for coaches?
Almost. I just need freshman coaches. I got 4 right now, freshmen, and I'm going to name a head coach pretty soon, probably in the next couple of weeks. But we have our varsity staff will be dual staffs for JV and varsity, just like Coach Carroll did when I was there. So I think a lot of high schools do that, but I think one of the varsity coaches on each side will go down to freshmen as well. So
really,
they'll be
interesting.
Well,
that way you have your thumb on who's coming up, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we got to make sure we're developing, especially at the young age. Our younger groups are important to me right now because, they're going to be the bread and butter the next couple of years. So we just got to be prepared. And our junior class, they're going to be the leaders of this group. So we got to make sure that they're in line as well. But for the most part, we have a really good junior class right now. They're the ones that are texting 5 o'clock in the morning to make sure all the guys are ready for breakfast club Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6:30 in the morning. Like, that's not easy. So They're taking on the road really quick, and it's really nice to see.
That's the community part. I want to ask him about Palomar College, because we had, I don't know, remember Last Chance U? We had Coach Jason Brown on here probably 4 or 5 months ago. I know it's not as crazy as his program, but do you see a big difference? I know you got mentor, you got to worry where kids eat, where they live, their girlfriends. Is it a big difference for you think, high school to junior college?
Yeah, in JuCos, it's even harder nowadays, now that everything is getting more expensive.
Right.
So when you're recruiting kids out of state and you're trying to bring them in, it's like you say, hey, you got a $1,600, $2,000 rent that you got to pay every time you're here. And so sometimes we only get them for the fall and then we send them home. But at the same time, that's still money. Like, it costs a lot. So that's the biggest hurdle that I think at JuCo that kids don't see. But that's why I always tell them, hey, stay at a hometown JuCo because it's cheaper for your family and you won't be in debt when you graduate. Like, that's the main thing, is making sure kids are understanding, like, look, you're 18 years old, you just graduated high school, you got to understand that you got to make some life decisions right now. And some of them just want to leave, and then they don't realize that they're gonna have debt because they're not on scholarship. I think that's one of the biggest hurdles too, is can't scholarship kids unless they're local kids, and if they're from San Diego and they get in their tuition for free through the state.
And you think at some point we build dorms at our JCs, like, around the country?
It's been a thing, and I'm like, all right, so you have these high school kids that are graduating and they're trying to get scholarships to D1s those recruiters are going to the portal first, and they're going against kids that are 5-star, 4-star kids. So tough. So I think the landscape for JuCo is going to definitely change because we're going to get more like kids that are 5-star, 4-star kids. So
yeah, is this transfer portal working out? Is this? I know it had honorable intentions that kids couldn't get locked into a university if a coaching change, blah blah blah. But now it seems, just to your point, if you're a junior college kid, you're not only waiting behind 4-star high school kids, But now you're waiting behind all the D1 kids that already are going to be more desirable because they have allegedly experience. If you, I mean, is JuCo football going to die?
I don't think so. I don't think there's a space for it. So I think it's just going to get better with time, and I think a lot of states have to figure out how to help the JuCos like house the kids, because that's the biggest thing right now.
Right.
And then there's only like 3 or 4 scholarship JuCos in California, and a lot of our kids end up going there, but not realizing they're not just the guy. Like, they're one of the guys that they recruited, and there's like 5 or 6 of them just like them, you know. So,
Coach, can you slide your camera over a little bit so you're in the middle of the shot so we can see more? Yeah, there you go. Thanks. Oh, I appreciate that. We just want to see all of you. So finish your thought. You think JuCos will be around for time memorial?
I don't think it's going anywhere.
Okay. JuCo. You know, I'd love to see. I mean, we have division. We don't have anything but Division I here. It's if you had more of like, you know, it used to be like Chico and what was the one that Nigerian Nightmare went to? Zuzu Pacific. I mean, all these schools.
Yeah. Coach, I know you're fond of Coach Carroll and how well he built that program that we'll probably never see again, maybe ever. But one thing you're doing better than him already is whoever's in charge of your social media. Boy, it looks like big league. I don't know if that's you or if some kid, but give that kid a pat on the back, man, because it looks big league. Tell people where to follow Oceanside Football.
Well, just follow at Oceanside Football on Instagram and also YouTube. We have a channel. We have a marketing guy. He's actually my cousin.
Of course he is.
Nathan, that's why the community is huge, because everybody has to get in it. And he's been doing it for so long. He's been doing music videos and stuff like that. He's been in that field for a very long time, so he knows what he's doing. I trust him, and he's really good at getting those sound bites and putting them to life. And
well, let's give him what's his name?
Nathan Fale.
All right, Nathan. Nathan, I've caught your work. You're really good. If you ever want to moonlight on a high school football show, give us a call. We can we'll make it a dual income for you. I know.
Wait, you guys pay?
Yeah, we pay. We pay.
I got one question here.
Okay.
So, Coach, tell me. I mean, I know it hasn't been that long, but I think I know the answer. People around town knocking your door down to get on the staff, or are you having trouble finding staff?
A lot of alumni are already they know what it takes. They're asking me hey, if you need help, man, I'm here. I'm I'll volunteer my time. And the community's already been reaching, and they're still continue to come. As far as putting the right staff together, that's the biggest thing. So we just want to make sure we get the right pieces in play. We don't want to just hire anybody. We need to make sure that, we're trying to create an environment where these kids are prepared for life after sports. So we need to make sure that some of these guys that are coaching these kids, been through it too as well, but they're also giving off that Oceanside pride.
Boy, I wish you could have been at that dinner, but only one of us got an invite. It was so
I didn't get invited, right?
I know. Well, only one non-pirate.
It sounded like you got invited either.
Yeah, no, I got invited. I got invited by the head pirate.
Sounds like you just showed up. Were you at that card room playing
no,
Ocean's 11 and then you just went over there?
I was invited guest, and you know what? I walked out of there with a pirate. I still work out in my Pirate for Life T-shirt.
And a buzz from Coors Light.
Coach, we're getting close to wrapping this thing up. I'll let you get back to your day-to-day, but are we ever going to see, when they write the story of the greatest high school football teams in San Diego County, is the last chapter Oceanside? I mean, is there? I know that Lincoln is on a roll, Mater Dei's on a roll, Cathedral certainly has had some success, but nothing compares from where I sit, and I try to be objective. That Oceanside run is the greatest run of all time, is it not?
It is, and we are looking to continue that after that. So that's the main goal, is making sure we get our kids bought in, which they are, and now we just got to win these rings. And of course, it's going to take a lot of moving pieces, but I think we can continue that. I actually believe that.
And it's hard. I think I said it on the Good Morning San Diego. It's you follow this. It's almost like stepping into Alabama now after Saban's done like everything. It's like, what's my ceiling and what are the expectations? It's got to be like brutal.
Yeah, what are your expectations year one?
Year one, well, it's to win it. Everybody wants. Come on, we play the game to win. We're in the position to make our kids successful, and now we just got to follow through with our processes. Like I said before, I truly believe we can change it. Well, we're entering a new league in the Valley League, and we're in D2, so anything can happen.
I forgot they're in the Valley League.
That it seems. I know. I just always think of Oceanside as an open division team for obvious reasons. I keep forgetting about how that 0-10 season kind of works out to your advantage, does it not?
Well, yeah, you can say however you want to spin it, but yeah, it does. I mean, regardless of what league we're in, we're going to come ready to go, locked and loaded.
Well, Coach, I'm going to give you the final word. We're coming up on the 25-minute mark of our conversation, which is about where we try to cut this off. I'm going to let you look into the camera and make your pitch to any prospective kids in the community or maybe wherever you want to make your pitch. Why should they come play football at Oceanside?
Here's the main reason. It's family. It's always God first, family, and then football. And you know how I coach. Everybody knows how we get down. So if you want to be a part of that greatness, come on through to Oceanside High School.
And on that, we call it a conversation. Coach, I hope we didn't interrupt your day too much. I apologize. When you got the job, we knew we were going to talk to you, but we knew we were going to do this podcast, and that's why we waited a few days. I don't want you to think that in any way that we were slighting you. It's just I wanted to have the first crack at it, so Brandon graciously waited for us to talk to you, and I hope you understand that. It was just
we're good.
You are loved and respected, and everybody in Oceanside is, so it was just one of those scheduling deals, okay?
Absolutely. You're good, Paul. No worries. Thank you, Bert, for your...
Thank you, sir.
In 3, 2, 1, the podcast is now over.